Good morning, guys. Hope everybody's doing alright. I just spent the night here once again in the Maples. I was going to go to the Uintas in the Coubrant Basin of the Uintas. It's 2 weekends in a row I thought I was going up there, but last weekend my father ended up in the hospital with a blood infection, a serious one, and pneumonia in his left lung, and he's 85 years old. He had me kind of late in life, but my parents were always as old as other people's grandparents my age. So he ended up in the hospital, and the original prognosis was that he would be in there a few days, be treated with antibiotics, and sent home. After a few days, they said the infection was very serious and pneumonia was getting worse. He was gasping for air in between talking to me. I visited him almost every day, except for a couple where I couldn't because of work and kids and that kind of thing. Long story short, he's now on hospice care, which means he's going to pass away. He's been living with me for the last 12 years, and I've been his caretaker, taking care of his money, his doctor appointments, his medications, his food. He hasn't been helpless. He's been fairly independent, but he's totally blind completely. And so he's relied on me for all these things the same way he relied on my mother before she passed away from cancer 12 years ago. What it comes down to is he's decided he no longer wants invasive procedures and whatnot, and he does have a DNR certificate, do not resuscitate, if he should pass away. He does not want heroic measures taken to save his life. And he's decided hospice care is the best option for him to be comfortable and let nature take its course. So a couple days ago he was very sleepy and having a hard time breathing, but would still talk to me, and yesterday he couldn't really respond to me at all. So I decided I needed to get away still. I let the nursing staff know I would be camping close by. So that's why the Maples again. The Maples is very close to my house and still in cell phone range. So no Uintas, unfortunately. My summer has been shot to crap between working weekends and life drama, but at least I got to the Kings Peak trip. I still hope to get up to the Coubrant Basin, but I don't know what's going to happen. Well, I know what's going to happen with my dad, but I don't know the time frame. So I'm only about 20 minutes from my house, but I'm still far enough away from people that I can enjoy myself. I just needed to get away from the stress of all of that. It's difficult to see happen. So I've had to leave my phone on because they could call me at any time if I'm not there and tell me that he's taken a turn for the worse, or he's passed away or something. He really only has a matter of days at the most. So I came up here to just get away from it all, and I came up yesterday afternoon, but I had worked the night before, and so what happened is I set up camp and I laid down and blotto. When I woke up, the moon was out, it was dark, so I didn't film yesterday. So good morning. But we are going to make the most of this adventure and have some fun with it. I want to show you my camp setup real quick. This was my sleeping quarters last night. This is my Chill Gorilla tent, or tarp. And I set it up as a shelter. It's kind of a mess in there, sorry. I was all over the place last night, but I just slept on a sleep pad with my quilt. and I barely needed the quilt. It was so warm in here. It was great. So I just chilled in there last night. I didn't have the pole up. I took that down and the flap drops and it closes off, but it's just a setup I learned online. I used this ridge line to hold it up. I originally tried a trekking pole right there, but it kept slipping. So we've got the trees helping us out and also providing a place to hang my stuff sacks and equipment and whatnot. Here's my messy table. You've probably seen this before. This is the exact same campsite I've used in the past because dang, it's convenient, but unfortunately some people like to come here and trash things. That metal grate is from another abandoned campsite that used to have one of those, and they decided to rip it out of that campsite and use it for a, I don't know, a chair or something. They left their garbage here, and just up into those woods they left another pile of garbage, MRE trash and stuff like that. It's really upsetting to me. I know this is an abandoned campground, but geez, it's still nature, you know, take care of it. The closer you are to a city, the more people just feel like they can just leave their garbage. It's ridiculous. Or spray paint or whatever else. Anyway, here's my plan today. I've got to get the food down from the tree and have some breakfast. Then we're going to go for a nice hike. One that I've been meaning to do. Sardine Peak, which isn't a super high peak. Here's my my new standard for bear bags. Keep a rock tight on the end and just wrap it around a branch. It's much easier to bring the bag down. Just undo that and the bag comes down and the rock goes up. I don't have to tie it to anything basically. I did bring a hammock. I have a double hammock, a brown one. I have two blue ones at home, one double, one single. This one's new. They're all kind of the same. This is by Winter Outfitters, and I just brought it to hang out in, to just chill, and that's what I did for a little while yesterday before I got really sleepy and just crawled in the tarp and listened to some stand-up comedy till I fell asleep. I was just too tired to film, so I apologize. That's usually hanging in my bedroom, believe it or not, in my man cave. That's what I sleep in a lot anymore. Now that I'm divorced and I can kind of do what I want, I hung that up in my man cave, and man, it's great on my back, really. Unlike this, I do like to tent camp still, and I wanted to bushcraft it a little bit, so I used that sleep pad right there. My back said no bueno. It's better now that I'm up, but boy, I had a stiff back from sleeping on that. I've been spoiled by the hammock. Anyway, let's get breakfast going. And then let's go for a hike. It'll be fun. We'll try to get our mind off of life back there for a little while. I do have to go home this afternoon and check on him, of course, but there's not much I can do for my dad now. After everything I have done for him and everything he's done for me in my life. It's a cycle of life. It was bound to happen at some point. It's just the reality is a bit overwhelming. And nature is always my place to go to be able to think and breathe. I'll shut up. Let's make breakfast. Well, I have oatmeal in here and I was going to heat it up. I've got my bushcraft stove here, my wood burning one. As you can see, I used it last night just to heat up some cocoa and get rid of the mosquitoes. Here's my little wood pile. So I don't think I'm going to use it. It's not cold. I don't want hot food. It's probably pushing 70 degrees already. I have this granola with milk and blueberries. You just add cold water to it. Half cup of cold water to the pouch, stir thoroughly, wet all ingredients, and enjoy right out of the pouch. So that's easy, huh? Alright, I think that's half a cup. Don't eat it. So here's what it looks like beforehand. Just crumbly dried fruit and granola, it looks like. Got my spork. Whoa. The water turns blue. I don't know if you can see that. So basically it's got dried milk in it and turns it into regular milk. And you add the water. I'm going to let it soak a little bit. I don't like it too crunchy. What else do I have here? I have a little energy packet here. I'm going to use this to boost my energy this morning. It's also an electrolyte. Just Walmart stuff. You're supposed to put this in a 16-ounce bottle, but I find that it's too concentrated and really sour, so it's better in a larger bottle of water. And we can take this with us on our hike. Good source of energy while we hoof it up the mountain. Got my garbage bag from last night. This is full of MRE stuff. That's what I had. It was an Asian beef tips, and it was really good. But I ate it in the dark. You wouldn't have been able to see it. Well, you could have if I'd sat there holding a flashlight while trying to eat, and that wasn't fun. So I just didn't film that either. Here's a look inside. Blueberries and granola. Fantastic. I've had this for a few months, and I just kept deciding to take oatmeal with me on my trips instead, but I've never eaten this before. Last night when I was laying in my hammock, there was this big squirrel zipping around in the treetops just expertly. Just amazing to watch him. He'd go all the way to the top and just leap into the air and land perfect in the trees. He was checking me out. There are a lot of yellow jackets around here. Must be a nest nearby. Getting inundated with texts, so I gotta check them. What about Dad? So here we go. Here's our first bite. It kind of looks like I'm eating something I found in the woods. Really good. Like cereal, like granola cereal. Like what you would expect it to taste. Sorry. Talk with your mouth full, kids. Don't do what Utah Steve does. It's 9:30 in the morning. I set my alarm for 7. Fell asleep about midnight, I guess. The second time. The first time I slept in the day until the moon came out. It was a full moon too. It would have been beautiful to film. I really feel bad about that. I was going to film the whole setup process and everything of the tarp. Sometimes things just don't go as planned. At least I got away. What was I saying? I don't remember. But last night I was being stalked by an owl. I've never seen one in the wild. I've heard them. I heard them hooting all last night, a couple of them. And I turned on my light. I have a little candle lantern. I had that on. Turn on my light. And this thing came swooping down right over the table. As silent as a ghost. Just, not even that. I mean, it just was there. And its legs hanging down, and that's how I knew it was an owl, by the way it, moved its wings and had its legs down. It was checking me out, but it came down pretty low and flew off that way. It was really cool. Again, no video. This is the I didn't get it on video trip, I guess. Kings Peak with my son. I filmed all kinds of wildlife. Okay, breakfast is over. Brushed my teeth. I brought my new Outlander Daypack with me. I love this thing. It's so cool. It's probably my favorite little portable pack. Second favorite that I own. My first favorite is a Swiss Army heavy duty pack that is my actual day pack that I take to work and things with me. I freaking love it. It's bomb proof. I've had it forever. But this one, this is light, and if I can freaking unzip with one hand, carries like a little suitcase. You can put stuff in here and whatnot. But I just love the way it unfolds into its own backpack. And I know there are a lot of designs like this, but this one is especially cool because it has so many pockets, so many places to put stuff. There's my headlamp. I couldn't find this last night. I was using my new Night Core flashlight that I was also going to show off, but now that it's daytime, it's a waste of time to do that. Anyway, some spare batteries for the headlamp. This is a towel. I've shown this in my videos, and I have washed this repeatedly, but you wouldn't know it. It's filthy. I can't get the black stuff out of it. Anyway, this will be our day pack for our hike. So you can see there's a pocket there. It's got water bottle holders. It's got a place for a hydration bladder. The other ones that I have other packs like this. They just don't have the pockets. And this definitely does. Let me zip this up here. And should also mention it's very comfortable. Now I had to add my own sternum strap. I think I'm going to take it off though. I ordered this from Amazon. It's pretty cool, but it just slides around a lot. And haven't been able to get it to stay in place. It's kind of annoying. Don't know if I'll use that today or not. But I'm basically taking very few things with me. My water bottle, my roll pack, which has my first aid kit in here. My roll pack I've shown before. This is my hygiene area. This is my fire kit. This is first aid. Little pockets here to hold lighters. Another pocket back here. I could put my fishing gear in there if I was fishing, which I'm not on this trip. But, you know, I'm just going to take this with mostly for the first aid. It has everything I need in it in an emergency. And as far as snacks go, lunch is ramen and Spam, and I'll eat that when I get back. So I've got a caffeinated Cliff Bar, applesauce, peanut butter. I'm not going to take another energy thing. What else do I have in here? Cocoa. The rest is breakfast stuff, I think. Oh no, here we go. Breakfast biscuit. That should be enough for my hike, considering I just ate. And the hike is close by and pretty level, so I'm not worried about it. That's lunch. Breakfast was going to be cocoa and oatmeal, but obviously I went another route. And look who's back, guys. Look who I have. That's Bob Jr. Okay, now you may have thought Bob Jr. was destroyed in my little house fire I had from the headlamp that exploded a few videos back. That was a little puppy version of this. This is Bob Jr. that I intended to take on every trip with me and show him in every video whether I mention him or not. Because I can't bring the real Bob with me. My St. Bernard all the time. He gets overheated and can only go for... In the winter he's great. In the summer it's just too much for him. So I bring Bob Jr. with me. He disappeared. And my son, my little boy, found him in our garden buried in dirt. And he probably buried it, to be honest, but doesn't remember it. So he was all excited and gave it back to me. And Bob Jr. is going on our hike with us. So we have Bob Jr., we have drink, we have snacks, and the roll pack. Let's take that down. I love this thing because it puts so many things in one spot and is very easy to access. We'll put the garbage and the food in the food bag, and we'll get on our way. I still want to leave stuff here and make it look occupied. I don't want someone hoofing it along the trail here and thinking they can come up here. I'll shut up. Let's get on the trail. Okay. Bear bag's in the tree. Got my backpack on. Free hands. That beautiful country road behind me. Everything's starting to dry out and die. It's August 26th. So August is almost over already, and soon it will be fall. A lot of this, though, is not autumn as much as it is heat. Because the last time I was here, this was so green and lush, and it's just unbelievable how dried out it is. Had a very hot, very dry summer. Temperatures have rarely been below the 90s Fahrenheit. So getting out has been a priority because it's always cooler in the mountains, usually at least 10 degrees. Let's see here. Selfie time. Gotta have something else to put in the video besides my mouth running all the time. Now I've hiked half of this hike before. A couple of videos ago I came up here and hiked part way up with a goal to come back and hike it all the way up. So we're going to do some fun exploring. There's the Ogden Canyon Overlook up this way, as well as Sardine Peak. And I'll show you that peak in a second when we come out into the meadow. Okay, here we are. Sardine Peak. Now, from what I've read online, the trail doesn't go to the peak proper, but you can bushwhack your way to the top. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. We'll see where the trail goes, and then if I can get up there without too much exertion, that's what we'll do. Sunday morning, I have this to myself. I've heard a couple of hikers, not really too many. This is our trail. A lot of grasshoppers just everywhere. Well, here's the official trailhead. Ogden Canyon Overlook and Sardine Peak Trail. And you can be punished for using this only, not using this only when it's dry. Because that means they have to rescue you in the mud, in the rain, in the water. I'm not sure I like the sound of that place. Anyway, we are right here. And we're going, we can go this way. Ogden Canyon Overlook, because there's Ogden Canyon up here. We can go this way. Sardine Peak Trail. Around and back down. And that might be what we do. We may do the loop. I'm not sure how far this is. It just depends on how I feel more than the distance. But at least it's not 12,700 feet above sea level. I talked about altitude sickness in my last series of videos to Kings Peak. Did not quite make the summit because of altitude sickness. And learned an interesting lesson about my ability to handle high altitude. This is much lower. A few thousand feet lower. Most of our trail is in the shade and flat. It's a gradual incline. So a very pleasant walk, really. Okay, I've stopped on the trail, almost literally. I have a pretty good pace going. I'm not winded at all, but I was exposed to the sun for a little bit. Being as pale as I am, I got pretty hot. So I sat down to cool off and drink some water. I'm about ready to get back at it. I just wanted to recharge before I push further. At this point, I'm about where I was the last time I hiked this, so I've made much faster time, mostly because I've already seen it, and so I'm just trying to get where I'm going. A lot of mountain bikers. I've had to stop and move over a few times. Anyway, back on the trail. I'll shut up. Here's our view so far. It's been quite a breeze blowing through here. It feels nice. It's very smoky from all the wildfires. There's the ski resort. That's Snowbasin down there. And camp isn't too far from there. I'd say it's down in these trees here. So that's how far we've gone. Windy. Whoa. Okay, so here's our next sign. Ogden Overlook. Hi. Is that way. Sardine Trail is that way. Those mountain bikers are headed. Sardine Peak. I think we're gonna go the Ogden Overlook way. I suddenly got hit by a herd of mountain bikers, several of whom passed me on the way up, and it looks like they lost their caboose. They can't find the 7th mountain biker in their party. She went the Sardine Peak way. They went the Ogden Overlook way. Like I showed you before, it's a big loop. So they're racing to find her. All of them were skinny mountain biker types. She was not. And she was quite a bit behind them. God bless her for, you know, the degree of difficulty, they call it. This is quite beautiful in here. Finally reached some pines. Passing more hikers than bikers now coming down. So there's Sardine Peak. It's a little more prominent than it looks from down below. Quite interesting. The reason I wanted to go the Ogden Overlook way first, as I was going to explain before all those mountain bikers showed up, is because I really want to see that overlook more than I want to see another mountain peak. Now, before you think I'm negative on mountain bikers, I'm not. I get it. This is a mountain biking trail and a hiking trail. And my whole thing is just trail courtesy. You know, don't come flying down the hill so fast. You don't have time to respond to anything. If you come around a blind corner and there's a hiker and you didn't bother to slow down or give right away, it could get ugly. That's all I'm saying. And not everywhere I hike is like this, but this trail in particular has a lot of mountain bikers that don't seem to give a crap about those of us on foot. Into the trees. Looks like a game trail going that way, right through those trees. But our trail continues this way. At least it's shady and breezy. So there's the peak. And down below it, you can see the trail going up towards it, and some mountain bikers. Possibly that group looking for their friend. So it looks to me like, just as I read, the trail goes right up to the base of the peak and you have to kind of bushwhack your way to the top. That, if you look at the size of the mountain bikers right there and look at the peak, whoops, is not something I think I want to bushwhack up today. So we're gonna do the loop that way, Ogden Canyon Overlook, and come down that trail in that meadow right there where those bikers are, and then that leads back to camp. I'm glad I went this way because this is a lot shadier than that looks, and at least when I'm in the sun coming down, I'm going downhill. Be pretty easy. Ah, that beautiful tree. Well, when in Rome, it's the first actual seed I've seen. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna take a break and look at these beautiful trees. Right down there through those trees, Ogden Canyon. So not too much further until we have the overlook. Hopefully this isn't the overlook, but it's very smoky. So too bad the view won't be too spectacular. So I mentioned my divorce. I do tend to talk about my personal life on here. That stupid shutter does not want to open all the way. Apparently, I was divorced July 26th of this year, 2018. I just didn't know it. It was finalized the day after I showed proof of my pay stubs. And I went on my Kings Peak trip, first week of August, thinking that I was still waiting. So when I got home, I hadn't heard anything, so I called the court. My ex didn't bother to tell me that it was final. So I took a few days to sort of process that, the finality of it. And since that time, things have been very peaceful between she and I. We have joint custody of our little boys. And I think just knowing that we're both free and not tied up in that toxic marriage, because that's what it was for both of us. We were just toxic for each other. We tried for 11 years, and it was time to face reality. So we had a rough time going through the divorce, getting along with each other, trying to work things out with the kids and whatnot. But now that it's final and it's in concrete, we're getting along good. So it's been rough because my divorce was final and now my dad is about to pass away. And you may be wondering, well, why are you up in the mountains hiking around doing whatever you want when your dad's in the hospital dying? If you are wondering that, I've been living in that hospital, visiting him just about every day, and taking care of my kids just about every day. Soccer practice, schoolwork, running errands, working full-time graveyard at a different hospital than my dad's at, and squeezing in 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day. So when I finally got my weekend, I talked to the nursing staff and told them I was going camping, but I would be close by and in cell range. Call me. So I set everything up the best I could. My kids are with their mom for this weekend. They're doing their own thing, and this was a better option than visiting my dad for a few minutes when he may or may not know I'm there. At this point, he's not talking anymore, so I don't know if he knows I'm there. But I visit him every day, and I'm going this afternoon when I leave here. And I was there yesterday, so added up, I haven't missed a day. And this is close enough to home that I'm able to pull it off. So that's why, even though he's in the situation he's in, I'm up here. And that's because I'm really not that far from home. So very busy man these days. Soccer season just started for my son Dylan. Jude wasn't so much into the whole soccer thing. In fact, here's a picture depicting both of their enthusiasm about soccer. So you have an idea of where Jude's mind is as far as soccer goes. But he goes to practice and watches, so maybe he'll get some enthusiasm for it. I'm not big on forcing my kids to play sports. I played soccer for 6 years as a kid. I enjoyed it, but when it wasn't fun anymore, I quit, and that was it. I found music and riding to be more of an outlet for me, and this is my sport. I hike, I backpack, always on the go. I've lost a lot of weight, and I'm healthier than I've been in a long time. Divorce does wonderful things for you, by the way. You leave a toxic relationship, your whole mind goes, hey, I can get in shape, I can eat healthier, I don't have to argue with this person anymore. You just feel like your whole world opens up and it's free. And that's the way I want to keep it. Air Force. Anyway, let's keep hiking. I just wanted to give you a little update on that hole because I briefly mentioned my divorce and I haven't explained any of it in a while. So that's what's going on. It's final. I'm a single man. So ladies, line up. Here it is. Ogden Canyon Overlook. This is it, this little tiny turnoff. Actually, Ogden Canyon runs way down there and runs this way. This is a different canyon. And then out there is where I live. As you can see, very smoky valley full of people. Way out there is a Great Salt Lake, if you can even hear me. Quite a view. Okay, so here's the deal. I have way too many videos where I end up not doing what I said I was going to do in the first place. Like my Kings Peak video, getting altitude sickness, I didn't bargain on it. So I'm looking down here at this beautiful view. And I'm like, okay, let's continue the loop. That's not the trail. And this is a loop according to the map. But look how thick. There's this trail, sort of a trail. Maybe a small game trail. And there's this one. It's very, very, very thick and nasty down there. And that's it. I'm surrounded by freaking shrubs and it's just back the way I came. So either I missed a turnoff back here for the loop, or there isn't one anymore because it's so overgrown. So my only option from here is to hike back down. Dang. Okay then. Let's see if there's a turnoff that I missed. There's lots of these little game trails, but they're not actual routes I could possibly even take. And I'm not seeing another trail. I don't know how they consider that a loop. There's got to be a turnoff back here. That's my guess. So we'll go check. So we're back to where the little bench was that I sat on. Right here. Oh. Almost there.
There's one more back there. You should be.
Okay. All right. Another mountain biker, but at least he was polite. Okay. Oh, look, there I am. Hi, guys. Camera switched the wrong way. There we go. one more coming, he said. Now, most of these guys that have been biking up here have been telling me, you know, there's 2 more, there's 3 more, so I can just wait on the side of the trail until I count them as they go by. That is really, I'll take that over getting blown by any day. I'd rather get off the trail and let them go by. As long as they're just nice about it, you know. Some people just aren't. Most of them have been. Ultimately, I still have plenty of energy and plenty of time. Hello? Sorry about that, go ahead. Just caught up in my own little world. I suppose people are used to YouTubers by now. He actually pulled over. He did the right thing. I was going to let him go, but he's like, oh. What I was saying is I will probably hike up towards Sardine Peak anyway. I have plenty of energy. I feel fine. I'm not overly hot or tired or thirsty or hungry. I have what I need. So let's hike back to the sign where the trail splits and go that way. And I think I've figured out the mystery of the loop. On that map, it showed a little turnoff that goes to the overlook. That's what I think this trail is that I'm on now. So the loop actually, right there where the sign was, showing the different directions you can go, that's the loop. This is just a side shot from the loop, going to the overlook. So if you're familiar with this area, you probably already figured that out. I just did. I'd never hiked this before, so figured it out. This isn't part of the loop, but definitely goes to the overlook. So many mountain bikes. Look how dusty from all the mountain bikes. Back to the sign. Okay, so we are back at our sign. What I was trying to explain is that from looking at the map, the loop, this is the way we came up. There's the ski resort and camp. The loop goes this way and somehow comes back down. This is the way to the overlook that it sort of showed as a side trail from the loop. So I just didn't focus enough when I looked at it, I guess. So we've done the Ogden Overlook. Now we're going to do the trail. Hello. I want to film that guy. See, I can't even finish the segment without someone riding by. Very popular today. Anyway, where that guy's headed goes up to that little ridge right up here, and then we'll just follow the trail around and see where it goes. I can see someone right up here, so it looks like the trail goes up there. I heard that it doesn't go to the peak, it just kind of goes along the base and comes back down, so that makes sense now. It's good though, these little side trails and getting sidetracked a little bit and exploring help me understand the area better and help me learn. So the next time I come up, when I want a clear view of the valley below, after all this smoke is cleared and all the fires are out and fall arrives with its rain and everything else we've been missing this summer, then I'll know where I'm going exactly. Trial and error. I love how this sign is held up. Just a pile of rocks. Lean into one side. Onward and upward toward the toward the peak. It'll be the second trip I've been on in a row where I was at the base of the peak but didn't go to the peak. But hey, I don't feel like bushwhacking straight up that freaking mountain. Well, that was the steepest climb so far. It wasn't very long, but it winded me. Here's our overlook, Ogden Canyon again. We were right on the other side of this, looking over about right in there, I think. Right, sorry, I'm looking where I'm pointing, not where the camera shows. Right in there, looking over the canyon. This smoke is awful. My lungs are kind of burning like I'm sitting around a campfire. I'm not sure it's so healthy to be out here, but I personally would call this a red day as far as air quality goes. Anyway, we're on the cusp between Snowbasin and Ogden Canyon. It's kind of it's not really a saddle, but it's kind of like a saddle between the two. And headed up that way, as you can see, where the trail goes. Wonder what this is about. Like a black cross of plastic held down by rocks. It's been there a while because this weed grew right over it. My guess is it's some kind of marker for aircraft. An old one. I don't know. Interesting. Been there a long time though. Maybe someone out there watching this knows what that is. I'm sure somebody does. Alright, there's Sardine Peak. We're right at the base of it. Now I see what they mean by bushwhacking to the top. Look how thick that is. Yeah, you'd have to really want to go up there, and I really don't want to that bad. I mean, I would love to see the view up there, but only if there was a trail to it. But my view right now is fairly spectacular, except for the smoke. I love how this opens up right here. No sooner did we enter the meadow than it looks like we're about to leave it, go into these scrub oak. I hear voices, so I'm trying to be leery of mountain bikers flying down on me. I think they've stopped to take a break up there. Possibly that group. Look at these trees. This. Let it focus. How thick and overgrown that is. That's what it would be like trying to make it to that peak. It's just everywhere. Scrub Oak City. It's not really doing it any justice on the camera. It's actually pretty shady in there and it looks really nice. Well, it appears that all this bushwhacking I thought I would have to do is actually what the trail winds through. Because that's the peak right there. So maybe there's not as much bushwhacking involved as I thought. We'll see how it goes. This is our trail, but there's a little juncture here to this hillside for a view. And there's the wind. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's beautiful. See, that's the peak right there of Sardine Peak. We're right here, right at the base of it. Let's check this out. Wow. Whoa. God, that's a sheer drop off. Oh, that makes me really uncomfortable. That is a serious drop off, guys. So yeah, we were up there at the overlook. We've hiked back to there and wound our way down and zigzagged through this to get up here towards the peak. I'm telling you guys, this is not a casual drop off at all. I'll stick the camera over it, but I ain't looking. I have a fear of heights, believe it or not. And that is a long way down into those rocks and pines. And there's Ogden Canyon way down there. That's insane. I need to get away from this edge. It's making me really dizzy. As much as I love the outdoors, I've had a real problem with heights since I was a little kid. And there's no reason for it. I don't have a trauma or anything bad that happened. I just have a real fear of heights. I don't know where it comes from. So there's a lot of reflection on my phone, but our altitude is 6,320 feet. So we're up a couple thousand feet above where I used to live, or where I live, where I was at home, where I used to live. And only half of the way to where I went when I hiked Kings Peak. So pretty interesting. I can't believe that drop off, you guys. Like, you get to these rocks and it literally just goes straight down. I expected a hillside. So we've had enough of that view. I took all the courage I had just to get that footage, so be grateful it's on here. Whew! Solid ground. Nice and flat. Okay, so there is Sardine Peak. We're almost at the top, but I see what it means by, or the internet information means by, that it skirts the top, and if you want to go up there, you have to bushwhack your way up to the peak. Still not up for it. It's pretty steep and it's pretty thick in here. Look at this. So, although it would be fun, I think we'll just continue the loop and enjoy the view of far below. Beautiful down there. I wish it was a clear day. I'm sorry it's so smoky, guys. But California's on fire, Utah's on fire, Nevada's on fire, Idaho's on fire. You name it. If it's in the west, it's on fire. So, that's the best the view gets today. Okay guys, this is the trail it continues on. And I don't know if that's the loop or not, I would imagine so. But look. That's the peak over there. And this says it's a hiking trail, only open to hikers. Although, of course, I do see mountain bike tracks, even though they're not permitted. Let's see where this goes, guys. Maybe we will hit that peak yet. Wow, look at that. Used to be part of that. Probably blasted it with dynamite to make way for the trail to the peak. My guess would be the Conservation Corps back in the 1930s. It was just a solid wall right there at one time. Anyway, this looks like it goes on up, so let's find out. Well, peak's up there. This splits right here.
Look at this old thing. Maybe hit by lightning at one time. It's huge. Here's my hand for comparison. Stands right there. Ogden Canyon below. We'll see what awaits. So home is down that way. It's awful, isn't it? This would be such a spectacular view if not for all those wildfires. Ogden Canyon way down there. So this must be Wheeler Canyon. It's my guess. Wheeler Creek Trail. Could be wrong. So we've wound around the back side of the peak. You can see the colors are changing on this side of the mountain. Ogden Canyon is to my left. And I'm still not sure where this trail goes. Look at these leaves beginning to change colors. September and October are the best months, especially late September, for leaf color explosions. This is going down now. We went up around the mountain, around the peak, which is right here, and now we're going down. So this may connect on the other side from where we started this trail. And if it does, I know a place back that way that would make a perfect spot to go back, sit, have a snack, drink some water, re-energize before the hike back to camp. But I first got to see if this just connects on the other side or not. If it does, and I'm starting to think it does. So you would have to bushwhack up there through this. So not fun. We'll take a break with an incredible overlook back there, and I want you to see this. Okay, I know exactly where we are. This, my friends, and this would be so much better view if it weren't for this smoke. That is Pineview Reservoir right there. I'll try to zoom in so you can see that it's an actual reservoir. It's big. There's a beach there. You can fish. There's a big dam. And I've been there many times. I haven't done too good fishing there. My battery's dying, so I can't keep recording so much right now. I have to just record what's vital. So I'll come back when I figure this trail out. Whoever said the trail doesn't go to the peak proper, it doesn't. That trail zigzags down into Ogden Canyon, this trail that I'm on. So I've backtracked to the spot I was talking about. Right here. Now I know I just said I'm terrified of heights, but I can sit on this flat piece of ground and then appreciate the view, have a snack, as long as I'm not right at the edge. This is an incredible view, but an incredible drop off too, as you can see. That's the best view you're getting, guys. So I'm going to sit here and eat my lunch or a snack before heading back to camp, and we'll talk some more about the plan with that. Woo. Well, luckily I have my power bank with me to recharge this camera, but unluckily it's still at camp. I don't know why I didn't think to bring it. It was stupid. But my battery is almost dead, so I'm going to continue the loop back to camp. I know where it comes out. It comes out pretty close to my camp, actually. So, Hornet. Probably smells my peanut butter. I'm done eating. I'm going to hoof it back that way, and I'll just film when it's important to film. And then once I get a recharge, it won't be a big deal. But that's the plan. I'm all packed up. Everything's ready to go. Love this backpack. Freaking love it. Super lightweight. Easy to scrunch down into almost nothing. 35 liters. Pretty sweet. Say goodbye to this view. Not that it's too spectacular, but this was my view while I ate. Let's get back on the trail. Okay, just a little update. As we come up on this bridge, there's the peak. That trail we took around where we had our snacks runs, well, runs right along, like right here up towards the top and around the back. You can see how far I've come down. We went up this side and we've come back down, zigzagging through all of that. Back this way. We've approached this meadow, and then there's another shot through some trees back towards camp. So we're almost there, not quite. Very dry. Well, there's some swampy water down there. Now this road splits up here and goes back towards camp, and it also goes this way towards the river. But it's quite a hike to the river. I was thinking about getting some water. I have my filter with me, but I've got it just enough to get me back to camp. So we're almost there. And I was able to film it because I didn't film any of the rest of it. Then we'll charge the battery. Yet another bridge. Completely bone dry down there. Here's a bench to sit on and listen to the sound of the trees. Sure would be nice to sit there and drink some ice cold filtered river water. Can you tell I'm thirsty? Here comes some more bikers. Okay, we have finally come out of the loop, effectively completing the loop, really. Back to the main trail. It's where there used to be a sign. Here's this one. Camp is right up here. This is the trail I hiked in on from the car. And then if you've seen my other camps up here at the Maples, you know it's just right up here. We backtrack into these trees. And we're back at camp. Hallelujah. And here we are. I want to know why my food bag is much lower than it was. Hopefully this rock just slipped. That's what I'm thinking. That's where it was. But everything looks like it's still here. So I don't think anybody came in here. It's one reason I should always bring my trail camera. Evidence. May not catch animals on it, but I will catch people. Let's get that rock down. There we go. Food, water. I am so thirsty. Here's my water. Yeah, it looks like the wind got the best of the campsite though. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's nothing like nice water, nice cool water after a hike like that. Time to put this on the charger. Well guys, I've had sufficient time to lay in the hammock and just chill for a while, recover from the hike. I've decided against lunch. It's 3 p.m. and at this point, by the time I get home, showered, visit my dad for a while, and then go back home, it'll be time to make dinner. So I've got some barbecue ribs waiting for me to cook at home, and a nice hot shower, and a visit with my dad in the time we have left together. So, yeah, that's it. I'm just going to clean up camp and hit the trail. Let's do this. Well, that's it. I'm pretty sure I got everything, right down to the last tent stake. All right. Well, guys, thanks for joining me on another adventure. I gotta get home. I'm gonna have to carry all this in my hands. I'll eat the Snickers though. I'm done, and it's been fun. I needed this getaway. It's kind of recharged me, and now I can go deal with the things I have to. So take care, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
There's a fog upon LA, and my friends have lost their way. We'll be over soon, they said, while they lost themselves instead. Please don't be long. Please don't be very long. Please don't be long, for I may be asleep. Well, it only goes to show